This is a quick guide on how to play Preservation Evoker on Mythic Dimensius. It's the final boss of Mana Forge Omega, and it is also by far the most difficult boss. The boss is fairly stressful for healers, tanks, and DPS. There's a lot of checks, and there's a pretty sizable healing requirement required in pretty much all three phases. This boss is not an easy boss, and I do anticipate it getting some substantial sledgehammer nerfs coming in probably a week or two once Hall of Fame closes. But I will show you the methods used in this to play Prez on this fight. Pre-pull, similar to Nexus King, we're just getting out as many reversions as possible because one, it helps with the AoE hits, but number two, it gives everybody the passive called Grace Period, which Preservation Evoker has, which effectively is buffing all the healing they're getting from you by 10%. So we have reversion on everyone, meaning they're going to get healed an additional 10%. So here we land. First thing I do is I rip this Dreamflight across the platform. I do get a PI here. This is the only PI I get for the fight, and it's not because we need it for the healing. It is literally because we have too much damage in phase 1. It's very ridiculous, but this is a boss. You have to literally sit there and not hit the boss for like 20 seconds. And we thought the PI was actually just making it hard. Like, we were just holding longer and longer. So, and because there's certain classes like Fury Warrior that have to keep farming their cooldowns back, it became problematic. So we just moved the PI onto like a non-consequential entity like me, like a Prez Evoker. So this PI doesn't actually do anything useful. It's just so we don't push the boss. But again, we've Dreamflighted across the platform. We get our... Let's rewind it. We Dreamflight instantly across the platform. Again, this is just getting hot on everyone. I send Burn Embrace on myself here. Where, again, we have 4 stacks of compression. Again, once I consume it, it's going to proc Spark of Insight, which is going to be Essence Burst, as well as proc Exhilarating Burst, which is going to buff all of our crit heals. Gal Ysera is buffing our Dream Breath by 40%, which in turn is going to buff the amount of healing our Consume Flame does. So here we Dream Breath, level 1. I get the 2 procs. I Engulf, and this is a bit different from typical. Typically, Engulf is used to heal, but in this case, with the Devour and the cadence of the healing of the Devour, we want to be in this inner flame window during the Devour. So these are two Engulfs that got casted before the fact, because we're going to utilize healing from the essence bombs, as well as the final pop of the stasis. So you can see here, I send this Temporal Anomaly, because again, we're going to fish for procs after this. So I can throw a bomb, these 2 bombs just full heal the raid. I press Reversion, I get 2 more bombs, I send the stasis, and I just keep spamming bombs at this point. So all the healing in this window is largely from the spam of bombs. The essence bombs are doing the majority of the carrying in this phase. Now, this is a combo you will do for the entirety of Dimensius. So you see here, I get as many echoes out as I can, because again, we have a talent called Golden Hour. The knockback on Dimensius does an absolutely ridiculous amount of damage. And because it's doing a ridiculous amount of damage, we actually gain benefit from this talent called Golden Hour. Which means I've got echoes out, I'm going to press Reversion, and it's going to do a pretty sizable heal to everyone. So you see, we get knocked crap ton of damage. I press Reversion, you can see how parts literally like kind of slid over. And then here you're just kind of doing some maintenance before the spread. So here my Boomy's a little low. I jump to him. Here, 4 stacks, Gal Ysera, Dream Breath. Go over to the corner here, and I'm going to engulf top people here, and I've got 2 bomb procs. So I can do bomb, Temporal Anomaly, because this here, he's going to wave his hand, it's going to do gigantic AoE damage. See, raid takes damage, Reversion, Golden Hour heals all of them, and now I just spam bombs, because we're all stacked. And again, here, because I have 4 stacks of compression, and I'm still in Inner Flame, I can send a Spirit Plume here. It'll guarantee give me a proc. I can throw the bomb, and we're topped. So at this point, you're seeing maintenance. Here, you're prepping for the knockback here. The dragging thing or whatever. Here we're just prepping for the knockback. We're getting as many reversions out here as possible because our next window here is going to be into the communion. So we've got reversion out on everyone. I do a rescue here. I engulf and I just throw bombs here. Because everyone has reversion here, I gain benefit from it. So here, temporal anomaly, reversion, I get 2 procs. So bomb, bomb, I can firebird for a proc, and now I'm just going to lifeline people here. This is a lifeline ramp, keeps us topped. And the reason, like again, I could have used stasis here, but we need, or sorry, I could use this engulf here, but we need this engulf for the third set of soaks, and it'll become apparent in a second here. So here, again, this, I'm getting reversions out because there's a gigantic AoE hit coming in 2 seconds. So we drag these people down. I've got 2 stacks of Essence Burst now, and I'm going to proc an Inner Flame window here. So we gate over. I press engulf, immediate rewind, because this is a gigantic amount of damage, and I've got 2 procs. Because I have 2 procs, I just chuck the bombs here. Raid is topped, send a temporal anomaly. That one actually got cancelled, but again, I'm here. I can heal with Golden Hour, top people that need to be topped. And then here, I have access to 2 engulfs for this hit. So engulf, engulf, throw a bomb, get a proc, pop the stasis, and here I'm just fishing. See? Fish, bomb, bomb. And here's what we would call hold damage. Again, this is why we moved the PI to a healer, literally because P1 here is holding damage. Like, we need this timer to be at 251, 252, 253 before we phase into P3. But that's effectively pretty much it for P1 healing. Again, like you can see the meters, like it's a lot of damage. Like it hits hard. Here, knockback's coming, kind of the same thing. I do TD myself because of our mastery. The healthier I am, the more healing I'm going to do. These guys aren't at risk of dying, but I do want to get them topped. So I TD myself, I rescue the priest, reversion, golden hour healing here, and I can send engulf here. I go into the inner flame window, and now I'm just fishing procs. There's procs, bomb, bomb. I can engulf on the tail end here, bomb. 4 compression, Spirit Bloom gives me another proc, throw a bomb, and we phase. So rewinding or forwarding to P2. First thing you do here when we land is we want to kind of watch the tanks. The tanks when landing here, they don't really have any mitigation rolling, so this thing kind of just melees them for like 80% of their HP. So you want to make sure you're kind of ready to reversion them because again, golden hour healing, you'll top them. So here, pretty quickly, as soon as possible, this is one of the most important things of the fight. Every single time you land on a platform, you want to get into your stasis window as soon as possible. Because if you don't and you're late, you're not going to have it for P3, which is very deadly. So here, I get to my 4 stacks. Here I send Dream Breath. We're going to double engulf here. And here I can just kind of throw bombs. But here I have a job here to knock this out. So here, we're just kind of fishing. The main thing for Prez to do in this phase is to fish for procs and get as much AoE healing out as possible. We do have moments where we're going to do useful healing to the specific targets that get the dots on Pargoth platform. But here, our job as a Prez Evoker is to do as much AoE healing as possible. Because there's always a constant bit of rot healing and then you get hit by the beam here. So here again, I temporal anomaly right before... because again, I'm in Inner Flame. Temporal Anomaly in Inner Flame window with the reversion will give you procs. So I can Dream Flight here. I get a proc. I Verdant Embrace. Pop the Stasis. Raid stopped. Rest of this phase, so now we're just kind of holding damage. Where am I? Good. Kind of same thing here, because again, we want to keep people topped. Dream Breath. Engulf. And now we just spam bombs here. Spam bombs, temporal anomaly, reversion, 2 more procs again, and we're still taking damage. Like, it's a sizable amount of damage. 1 last bomb for the road. Everyone's topped. We're going over. Pargoth, again, exact same thing. We need the stasis to go as soon as possible. Again, I have the first knock here. I double engulf, get into the window, and now I'm just spamming bombs. I also get a, I'm one of the soakers here. It's me, the mage, and the tank. So here I grab it. As Preservation Evoker, we have access to this talent called Life Cinders, which is where we can put this defensive, which is one of the most broken things in the entire game, Renewing Blaze, on someone else. So here my mage gets it, so I give him Renewing Blaze. So not only does it keep me healthy, and it keeps him healthy, but, because again, this is a 1 minute dot. So me, the mage, or this mage, and the tank have a 1 minute dot. That's going to last this entirety of the platform. There I was a little slow, so I used rescue to get over here. I'm not actually sure what happened, but I don't know why I did that, but whatever. Here I pop that stasis that I was holding on to. I send this engulf here, and now I'm fishing for procs. There's a proc. Because here we just took a lot of damage, I do send the rewind here, because the usefulness of the rewind doesn't really come into like the final rings in P3, which is where rewind will be back for anyways. So this just makes it so we kind of safe, because we're not really in any CDs here at all. It's also an important thing in general. Like a fight like this is like scripted, so you have like healer Cs assigned. But for that reason, I just send the rewind there, so we're safe. Here you can see how much damage I'm taking, like just alone. Like I almost actually die there, but this is a very important sequence here. So pay close attention. Again, majority of this phase you're just going into Inner Flame and throwing bombs. Here we need to be careful. So here I'm going to go into Inner Flame. I'm going to throw bombs, but these are a lot more particular. So again, me, the tank, the boomy, and both mages are ticking for 1 minute. Oh, and the Holy Priest, I should say. So my job here is to make sure they're going to live this wins. See? So echo, 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 echo. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is going to be the 5th one. So that's 5. Again, 1 is a tank. I'm not concerned about the tank. But the people with this dot, not only are they going to take the constant AoE hit, they're going to take the 1 minute hit as well as the beam hit. So for that reason, like on King with banishment targets, I use Lifebind ramp. So I'm going to Lifebind here, Communion, and it's going to keep these people safe. Because it's a lot of damage that we take there, and it means, so when we go down here, we don't lose anyone. P3, off the bat, just kind of start off with doing some damage and get off as many echoes as possible. But again, Dimensius, once he wakes up again, he starts doing that AoE damage, and you want people as prepped and get as many versions out as possible. So here, this one's kind of simple. Here we're in Darkness and AMZ. So this one, again, we have 4 stacks, send the Dream Breath, we double engulf, and then we're just healing with Essence Bombs here. So we Temporal Anomaly, Reversion, Essence Bomb, Reversion, or Bloom there. Here you want to kind of get to the ring as soon as possible. And again, here you need to be very, very deliberate. For the rest of the P3, you need to be very deliberate with your Dream Breath and Engulf cast. So here, because I want to save the pop for the final ring, I can send a real Dream Breath and a real Engulf here. Do healing with bombs and procs here. And Golden Hour. I can Burn Embrace myself, save it for this ring, and then pop it. The entire raid now is popped right before the Devour cast, and I've got as many hot shots as possible to kind of keep people stable through this. I go through here. This way I have no defensive, so I think I TD myself here. Here we stack up, and again, like, you don't want to save healing for when you think it'll be like the most healing. Like if I delayed, yeah, I could have done more HPS here because my first cast of Engulf overhealed a bit, but it keeps people safe. And that's a general philosophy with healing in general. Is the safer you can keep people, the better. Even if it means like you're taking a healing loss personally, just doing more healing is not always necessarily good. This ring set is always terrifying, at least it was for our raid. We don't have my cooldowns here at all for this, and Mistweaver is not particularly the best here. Maybe if he had sent it a tiny bit earlier, possibly, but again, I use Spirit Bloom there to keep at least myself top here. Because again, my HP is the most important health bar on the entire raid. The healthier I am, the more healing I do to everyone else because of my mastery. So here, I send this, and I just send bombs. We're all stacked. Fishing, bombs, tops the raid. One more bomb for the road. We're looking for the ring. Looking for the ring. It's left. So here we've got Yulon going from the Mistweaver. I could have used Dreamflight here, but I got myself killed at least once in Prague for this, and I vowed to never do it again. But it is what it is. Here we go into this window. I'm in stasis here, and I'm saving this poppy for the end because for some reason we had so many people dying here, and I don't know why. Like, our people would overstack here always. So for me, for Prague's sake, because like here, like they're all gonna get dragged through and stack, and it even kills the warlock. Like, for whatever reason, my guild could not figure this one out. Like, we played this very poorly. And I would have ideally liked to use a stasis for this devour cast, but because my raiders could not figure this out, we had to move APT here, and like the burst of my stasis here, which for your kill, if your guild is better at stacking than mine is, you can easily just save that stasis for this devour cast. But here I'm just kind of doing what I can. Send a dream breath here. Engulf, run over. We get into AMZ, and here I'm just kind of doing as much healing as I can with procs, because I'm kind of running dry here. Yeah, and I think at this point I just started doing kind of bad play, because it got to the point in P3 where you just had to do a lot of like healing, like compensating and stuff. But main thing is here, kind of, because again at this point in the fight it just gets chaotic. You will just lose half your raid. Here I call a rally. Rally goes off. We link, try to stabilize people. This next gravity set 5, is typically when people are like the lowest. So here I just trying to do a communion ramp. So communion, get it on as like many people as I can. I think it's like a 9-man communion. You can see this like tops these people as much as I can here. We clear, fight, pull. Now here, if I don't completely zone out and die to this, you would just kind of keep doing the same thing. You have a ring set coming. So you would send this dream breath. The second the first hit comes off, you would press engulf. And then you would keep healing with procs, and then you would have rewind again. Again, that rewind that we use in P2, this is where you would use that rewind. If I don't die here, I think maybe 7 people on my team don't die, but that part is what it is. But it's good at least now to kind of know how to see the whole fight. The fight is hard, it's very chaotic, but Prez is by far the best healer for this fight, just because of everyone's being stacked and how the timings work.